wrong, but I've noticed lately that a lot of guys don't know the difference between equality and chivalry. Like, if you want equality, you shouldn't expect chivalry. Since when did these two become mutually exclusive of each other?
Yes, chivalry and equality are mutually exclusive. Because an act of chivalry is something a traditional man does for a traditional woman by all means. You can't have all of that strong independent women wala mindset and then demand for conservative gender roles. That's hypocritical. Just like you can't demand for traditional values and liberal values according to your situational benefits. Also, the act of chivalry is something men automatically do for the women they admire. So if you find yourself asking for it or demanding for it, you are certainly not worth it. So take the hint and start evaluating yourself. You know, I think you should replace the letter R with the letter P in your surname to perfectly describe your opinions and thoughts. Just a suggestion.
62 million men have been on this website? 62 million. This is a website where dudes train other dudes how to knock out their women so that they can do things to them in their sleep. Oh, and apparently a lot of them take photo and video evidence to show them how to do it. So when dudes say, not all men, which ones are they supposed to trust out of the 62 million? Dudes, if there was a report that came out that said 62 million cars are set to explode today, how many of you would drive that day? And then you can't really understand why women don't like it when you say, not all men. And I want to try and convince myself that, you know what, maybe it's not as bad as I think. That 62 million of men worldwide, I mean, that's still a low percentage. But then I think, well, how many men didn't know about this site? Or how many men are practicing this without even knowing about this site? If we're going to continue on as a species, we have got to figure out how to fix men. And I realize that a lot of it has to do with hormones. So maybe if we can just find a way to get that under control. And I know guys should be able to control themselves even though they have that affliction. And it wouldn't be that way if men held other men accountable for what they do. That they don't laugh it off when dudes say the things that they did that were horrible. Because we've all known that dude who basically just admits what a horrible piece of he is, like he's bragging about it. That guy needs to be called out, and if you have evidence of what he has bragged about doing, then you need to provide that evidence to the police. The more time rolls on and the more I learn, the more that I would not be upset to hear that the human race is going to go extinct on this planet. And the sad thing is, about 10 years ago, I thought we were headed in a more progressive direction. I thought we were finally going to head towards the Star Trek future. But instead, it seems like we're living in almost every post-apocalyptic film, but the apocalypse just hasn't happened yet. But we're trying to just act out the horribleness anyway. I don't have kids, but I thought if I ever did have kids, I would rather have daughters because I don't relate as well to dudes. But now I feel like I'd be terrified if I had daughters. I probably would not have any dark hair left. It'd all be gray if not gone. I worry about my pets something awful, so I can't imagine what I would do having a daughter or multiple daughters. And to the women out there, you are absolutely right to be terrified of men. If I were in your shoes, I would be terrified too. In fact, as a dude, I don't really trust other dudes. If I'm walking down the street and there is just like a crowd of guys, I don't feel safe. If that were women, I would probably not even think twice about it. I kind of miss the days where I didn't follow the news.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
It's really on here saying, why would I go to a singles event if I get like, gang, we can't just go to meet people? why would you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet? And this ain't even no regular buffet. They bring it to your seat, player. Just sit tight. There'll be another course up next. You ain't even want to pick a favorite. You could just try things out. Sample a couple things. See what you like. Try something new. I could just tell who really don't be in the field for real. Because if you give me and my man's 5 shots of Don Julio send us to a singles event, we go the whole city up. If you're not in there overly thirsty and you just have pure good intentions to meet people, oh my gosh, that shit is going to be the greatest on earth.
Men don't go cold out of nowhere. They go cold the moment they realize the woman they're loving no longer sees them anymore. A man shuts down quietly. No drama, no speech, just a slow, silent retreat. And it starts with the tone you use, the eye rolls, the snide comments, the lack of appreciation, the way you talk to him like he's the problem while forgetting that he's the one holding this entire house together. He stops opening up because every truth that he ever shares gets weaponized. He stops giving effort because nothing he does is right anymore. He stops pursuing you because you treat him like a placeholder, not a man that you actually desire. And then women run around screaming, oh my gosh, he has changed. Where did he go? No, he didn't. He evolved into survival mode because he became exactly what your attitude taught him to become. Men give leadership, love, protection, presence, where they feel honored and when they feel admired and wanted. But women who humiliate him, talk down to him, dismiss him, treat him like a burden, she will the relationship long before she realizes that she lit the match. You want a strong man? Stop breaking him down. Stop disrespecting him. Stop expecting him to pour into you while you starve the very traits you're demanding from him. Honor him, respect him, and desire him. The moment he stops feeling those three things, he doesn't leave with anger. He leaves with silence, and he'll never come back the same.
You know, a lot of these modern women are giving men ultimatums and expecting them to fold. But men are saying, okay, all right, well, I'm not about to negotiate with a terrorist. I'm not about to plead. I'm just going to accept it. That's the way it is. I'm not going to beg you. You can leave. If that's what you want to do, you can leave.
Did he force you to stay against your will? At what point do you take some responsibility for your own personal life choices? Just because that relationship did not give you the outcome that you wanted doesn't mean it's theft. Every day that you stayed was a choice done by you. And I get it. Sometimes we have regrets about how much time we spent on a person or how long we stayed. I get it. But you still have to take some responsibility for that. Your biological timeline is not a man's responsibility to manage. That's your responsibility. And if having children was your top priority, that should have been reflected in your decision making. Next, this also encourages women to be incredibly passive, instead treating life as what happens to them, rather than them knowing that they have the power to make decisions and choices. It's also incredibly entitled because you're saying because you invested a certain amount of years, you are now entitled to a specific return on that. And unless that was a business agreement that you guys signed on a contract, not valid. It's so funny how some women talk about wanting freedom as women, but we also don't want to take the accountability piece. You can't pick and choose.
This one might get me into a lot of trouble, but if you as a woman think that saying, where are all the good men? Or good men are few and far between, good luck finding one. If you think that will help your cause, as if it brings you closer to finding a good man, it will actually do the exact opposite. Because when a good man hears a woman saying this, it only confirms to him that she is not so unlucky that she's never run across a good man. It's that she doesn't value the good men that she's run across. But here she is playing victim, which really, really, really annoys him.
So one of my guy friends gave me permission to make a Hinge account for him because I was telling him how easy dating is with dating apps, and he was telling me that it's incredibly difficult, and I was like, Pete, you must be doing something wrong. And he gave me permission to create an account for him and just run the account. I've been a virtual boy for 3 days, and I've never felt this bad about myself. I feel like a freaking loser trying to get these girls to like me, and I'm starting to hate women because I'm like, when I say I mean Pete, because that's the account I'm using. Pete's about a 6. But I'm so desperate, I'm liking the 2s and the 3s, and even they won't like me back, Pete, which is a 6. So what level of delusion has entered women's heads? Like, what is going on? It is so difficult dating as a boy. I hate it. I'm on day 3 of being a boy, and I hate women, and I'm more depressed than ever.
Gentlemen, understand something. If you are a single man with no children and you are earning $75,000 or more, you are now platinum. Shout out to platinum. If you're making 6 figures or more, you are now diamond level. If you're making $55,000 to $60,000, you are gold. You are far more valuable than you have ever been. And here's the trick. You guys don't know how valuable you are And that is why so many of my critics and detractors are angry at me, because I am waking men up to their true value. That's why they want me shut up. That's why they want me off this. They don't, because of the impact it's having upon right-thinking men and right-thinking women. It is making it more and more, it is making it less and less possible for men to get bad deals. That's why every day I walk out in this world, I get love from men. Every single day. Shout out to the two young dudes. Hadn't even hit puberty yet. No offense, but y'all still look young to me. They can barely get the words out. Those dudes had to be 14, 15. Those men are going to have a different outcome because they're not going to accept bad deals.
The one thing that's helped is that gut feelings. Productive, which men trust that more. Security through being productive. But a man will have the same reaction about, I had a gut feeling about that, and I didn't go with it. My bad. Right? So gut feelings, if you guys can, if men can think about how you trust your gut, that a woman's likely to go with this as the same thing. And of course, interesting that they've shown that there are more neurotransmitters from the gut to the brain than from the brain to the gut. This is a brain. So it's more trusting thought than feeling, right? So another way to put that is trust facts. Trust facts over feelings. And so the challenge is becoming believable, becoming a trusted source of information. So many women are not regarded as a trusted source of information about themselves by the men who are interacting with them, because we appear incongruent. One of my favorite examples is a woman saying, honey, I'm tired. I'm so tired. Would you put the kids to bed? Sure. Okay. And he expects her to go lay down and fall asleep. And he doesn't understand. Why is she finishing the dishes? Why is she straightening the pillows on the couch? Why is she putting a load of laundry in the dryer and waiting for it to be dry? Why is she doing all these other things? I guess what I think tired is isn't what tired is.
And another thing that modern women don't understand is men are not begging because, if you want, why do I have to beg you if you want to stay? You know what I mean? If you don't want to stay, then leave. I'm not going to sit up here and try to convince you to be somewhere that you don't want to be. That's taken away from what I need to be doing as a man and building myself.
A lot of men believe they would never a woman when they've already done it. And this is because the issue with men is they have consent blindness. They think it's only super obvious to them. They don't understand that consent is more than her just not freaking out, more than him just not holding you down. It's more than him just not wielding a weapon. It's more than that. It's coercion. It's asking you over and over again. It's assuming that because you had prior consent, you have current consent. It's assuming that because she's letting you do this, it means you can do that. It's assuming that, she is comfortable enough to speak up when you guys are alone and secluded, or if you barely know each other, or if she had too much to drink or another substance. There are so many men out there who have violated women while walking around saying, oh, I would never do that. And they just don't know that they have, and that they would, and that they will again.
Ladies, listen to me. Everything that men do is 100% intentional. Everything that a man does, he does it with intention. You guys are living in La La Land. You guys have been watching Disney too much. I need you guys to wake up and smell the coffee. Everything that a man does is 100% intentional. Okay, so if he's not replying to you after so many hours, if he's taking hours to reply back to you, he knows what he's doing. If he hasn't spoken to you in weeks, he knows what he's doing. If he's texting you but not planning a date, he knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and that plan just means you're not included in that plan.
Okay, the guys are gonna hate me for this one. I did a video on how to get girls if you're a guy. Here's how to get guys if you're a girl. And again, there's one answer. There's one answer. Be hard to get. I think that this is like the easiest way and the most effective. When you're hard to get, a guy's just gonna want you more. It's just the truth. If you're seeking out him and bugging him, feels like you're clingy, he's just gonna pull away. The trick is to just act like you don't care, act nonchalant, even though you do care. To him, like, act like it doesn't matter. Don't always text him back. Don't always say yes to plans. Sometimes say yes, like make it hard for him. Make it hard. And I know that guys don't like this, but it works.
If you don't text that man back, all he thinks is that you're not very interested, and that's why you're not texting him back. Because he has made the mistake in the past of overthinking a situation just like this, and all that did was bring somebody into his life that didn't see his worth. And he is not doing that again. No siree. He is not signing up for that again. Am I right, guys?
Men saying, I've just decided altogether to avoid women, that it's better to be single, guys. They're almost like happy about the fact that they're gonna make the choice to avoid the entire gender of women because they have yet to actually resolve the war they have within themselves.
It is not because they're fighting a war within themselves. It is because they found peace with themselves. And she was so close. She was just so close to getting there because at least she's recognizing what men are saying. Because they're tired of the complaining, the double standards, the expectations, and the risk of losing everything that they've built. There is no unresolved internal war going on in these men. He just found peace and contentment on his own instead of using that energy and effort on someone else.
Ladies, let me tell y'all something. One thing I realized about being a single woman in America, a black single woman in America, baby, you come to realize the reason why chivalry is because they think they're supposed to get for every little thing. Baby, I know you out your I had to come by. I said, come give me an estimate. I'm going to just say the AC. The heater need to be fixed. So he came by and he went to flirt. And I said, flirt. And I tried to keep it really, really professional because obviously he wasn't getting the point. Baby, he done gave me an estimate. I said, well, when can you come by and do the job? He said, after I take you out on a date. I said, hold on now, baby. You just lost yourself $1,500. No! Then I had a man on the street. I had a flat tire, baby. And baby pulled over on the side of the road. And the man said, now that I fix your tire, then that nigga take you out. I thought that dude was going to be a good citizen. A good citizen. Why you think that? Just because I had a flat tire, that mean that I was going to give you an opportunity? Bitch, chivalry is dirt because the think that's what to get for everything. That's why I like I like the order, anything I need from the white man. I don't give a what the man say. White men are very professional when it comes to doing their job with you. Baby, they gonna give you an estimate and an invoice, and they ain't gonna do all that fluffy shit in between. And the work gonna get done on time. Let's be.
A lot of these modern women, these dating coaches with their silly advice, oh, he's ignoring you because of this. No, he's not ignoring you because he's playing games. He's ignoring you because engaging with you has no upside. It's not a game. Maybe he gets a conversation. That's the best case scenario. But worst case scenario is you're going to publicly embarrass him. And a lot of modern women aren't emotionally stable and emotionally mature enough not to do something like that.
Do you think marriage is scary for men in 2024?
Yeah.
Why?
It's risky.
How?
That's a lot of risk. It's divorce. I know people just climbing out of the divorce settlements and bad ideas. The children, what they say, 99. Husband doesn't get the child. Like, what if I want to keep the kid?
But if you broke up as boyfriend girlfriend and had a kid, wouldn't it be the same? I'm talking about
married at this point.
But wouldn't it be the same if you were single, like you were boyfriend girlfriend, have kids? Wouldn't it be the same as if you were married?
What do you mean, like custody?
Yeah.
I want to say, if we had kids and we not married, and I'm a better fit parent, then the judge probably will award me the kids, right? Whether we married or not, or whether we were married or not.
I think generally most judges favor the mother.
Exactly.
Most court systems favor the mother, whether you're married or not.
And generally, the male is the breadwinner, though. If it's a better fit, if he can take care of the kid better.
I think there's a difference between taking care of the kid financially and being there as a nurturing parent. I think most women, not all women, but most women are better nurturers because it's more innate for us.
Probably.
So if a man is paying the bills and paying for soccer and paying for football and, you know, doing those things and buying the clothes, like those things are important, very important, but so is presence and attention and playfulness and patience. And most times women are stronger than doing that than men are.
Y'all don't want men who don't like the patriarchy. You don't. And I'm starting to see some people wake up and really see it. But everything that y'all are complaining about on social media right now is men unpacking the patriarchy and being different. Y'all don't want that. Y'all want that benevolent patriarch they be talking about. Y'all crave that. You want that traditional conservative Nikki without any of the flaws. What the traditional conservative Nikki is the flaw. Like, y'all can't process this right now. Like, and this don't affect me. I'm good over here. But I'm seeing it in real time. I'm seeing do they really want to do, really like to do, and it's now being labeled as like feminine and like unattractive. Like, y'all literally find the concept of these unpacking and having non-toxic masculinity as unattractive. And obviously this don't go for everybody, because I ain't even said a gender. I'm talking everybody. I'm talking the bottoms. I'm talking to femmes. I'm talking to in-betweens. I'm talking women. Everybody want these to stay toxic, bro. Y'all want them to stay toxic, but that's not possible. So what y'all want all this to come from a toxic without the toxicity. But the stuff that they come from them is part of the toxicity. For example, when a dude holds a door open, he's doing it out of a conditioning to believe he has to do it, because a woman cannot be trusted to hold a door open herself. And on top of that, the very nature of him being a gentleman is a servitude, is a currency that he pays in exchange for the ability to objectify women. So now you see a nigga who won't hold the door open, that treating you real rap like a regular person. Yes, he's sassy. He's sassy because he's connecting to his emotional health. He's discovering himself. He's starting to have quips. He's not being nonverbal. He's not stunning. No, yo, y'all finna piss me off, bro. Y'all finna piss me off. I'm good over here. They loving sassy over here, but y'all, man, they keep saying people don't want change. They just want to be empowered. And man, oh man, it's more obvious every single day, bro.
Is it actually true that men become a reflection of the way a woman treats them? So if you don't like the way he's acting, maybe you should look at the way you're treating him.
I get what she is saying, and I absolutely agree with it. I think that men become reflections of the way a woman treats them. I think it's the other way around too. I think women become reflections of the way a man treats them and takes care of them. But this is really just kind of basic surface level stuff, because there's a lot deeper level to this. If we go down, we see that it's not just about what she does to him. It's about what she doesn't do, what she withholds and what she avoids, what she ignores. Because respect that is inconsistent, effort that only shows up when it's convenient, and peace that disappears the second she's in a bad mood, that really matters just as much as the obvious things do. And then there's this part where people don't like to talk about it, but it really does matter. What she does in private, how she talks about him when he's not around, what she entertains on her social media, the attention that she may be seeking from other men, those little boundaries that she crosses and tells herself it's not a big deal, that does matter. It doesn't stay hidden, because it eventually leaks out, and it shows up in how she carries herself, how she responds to him, and how much respect there actually is for him. And men pick up on that. Whether we can explain it or not, we pick up on it. Women don't think we see those things, but we do. So yeah, men reflect how he's treated by a woman, but he's also reacting to what's missing and what's happening behind the scenes. You don't get the best version of a man by just doing a few things right in public. You get it by being consistent, respectful, and solid, even when nobody's watching.
A lot of these modern women, they be leaving good men. Some of these modern women be leaving good men in their 30s and 40s. And they were like, oh, well, you know, he was good, but he just wasn't for me, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, you didn't just started your journey on into Cat Town, on into Wine Box Town. Because when you come back to that man, when you see that man probably a couple years later, that man's going to be in a relationship. The relationship's going to be stable. He's going to have a family that appreciates him. He's going to have friends that appreciate him. And you're going to be looking like a bum.
Touch your husband today. Kiss him. Hold his hand. Run your fingers across his back when you pass by. Because one day, what if you can't? We get so caught up in the chaos of life, and we forget that the person standing right in front of us won't always be there. The truth is, life is short and nothing is guaranteed. So do not wait for the perfect moment. Don't save your affection just for date night or when things finally slow down. Love him right now, in the little moments, in the busy days, in the ordinary evenings at home. Because what if tomorrow never comes? What if one day you can't reach over and touch him anymore? Make sure your husband never has to wonder if he is loved. Show him every chance you get. Touch him, love him, remind him. Because today is the only day you are promised.
My rings. Do you know where they are?
Your wedding rings?
Yeah, what are the rings that I ever worn?
I think somebody else has.
What do you mean, like who?
I don't know. Whoever bought them from the pawn shop that I gave it to.
What are you talking about?
I sold your rings.
Why?
Because you're cheating on me.
What the f*** are you talking about?
You've been acting super weird lately.
What
Have you not noticed like the dumb stuff that you've been doing? You've been coming home late from work every day, telling me that you're somewhere that you're not. You share your location with me, so I see where you're at. If you tell me you're going to the bar, you're not. It's some neighborhood.
Okay.
At some house all the time.
Okay, and you haven't thought to like maybe just have a conversation with me and ask me like what's going on instead of selling my rings and I'm like not paying attention?
No, I don't need to, because I know that you're cheating on me, because I saw that you have an active Tinder account too.
Okay, but
So that really solidified it.
No, that doesn't give you the right to sell my rings. They're mine.
No, they're mine.
No, they're
I bought
mine.
them for
I don't
you.
care who bought
I paid
them. They're mine.
$25,000 for them, for you. For you to make the vows to be faithful to me, and you are not. So you do not deserve those rings, and you don't deserve me either. So with that money that I got from the rings, I'm hiring an attorney and I'm filing for a divorce.
Kidding.
I'm not kidding. See if I'm kidding. Wait until my attorney reaches out to me.
Wait, why? I don't understand. You're blowing this way out of proportion. You haven't even asked me still what's going on.
I don't need to ask you. I have the proof.
Okay, but haven't you thought maybe that you're the reason this is happening?
I don't care what the reason is. It still does not justify you cheating on your husband and being unfaithful. If you're unhappy, then divorce me. And then do what you want to do.
You gotta respect it. There's nothing further to discuss. You got caught. He caught you. He provided the reasons why. He moved accordingly. That's it. That's it. People that get caught cheating always want to have a conversation. You're supposed to have the conversation before you cheat. You know what I'm saying? I always want to, let me explain. When you get caught, silently take the L. You're caught. Ain't nothing else to discuss. Regardless of the root of the cheat, you still cheated. That's all that matters, man. You still did the crime. And you know what else I like about dude? He never stopped cleaning. He was gonna clean that countertop. Monumental change in his life, I'm gonna clean this countertop. That's how I move. I like to be a busy bee when I'm having serious conversation. Let me build this shelf while I'm cussing you out for cheating. Let me just do something. Let me change the litter box while I'm telling you this marriage is Dunsky. Okay? Let me cut this grass. Let me whack these weeds while I'm telling you I sold the ring, man. I took it to the pawn shop. Let me be sawing. Let me be making biscuits while I'm telling you to get the up out of here. It's over. And you can't be mad. You got caught. You on Tinder? You on Tinder? Come on, girl. Just take that. Why can't we have a discussion? She said, because you already discussed your coochie with somebody else in that neighborhood you was going to from the Tinder profile. That's all the discussion you need. The ring is gone. You wasn't thinking about that ring when you was on that Tinder. You wasn't thinking about that ring when you was going over there to that neighborhood. You wasn't thinking about that ring when you was out here lying, talking about, you know what I'm saying, I had to work late. You wasn't thinking about that ring then, don't be thinking about that ring now. Let him clean that countertop and get the divorce papers in order to get your feet together. Okay? What I want y'all to do is tender them tickets. No divorce necessary. Matter of fact, bring your spouse and come laugh with your boy.
Why are men not approaching women in Atlanta?
Atlanta men love themselves. Their egos are too high. People not approaching women in Atlanta are people that think they're 10s when they're actually 2s, and they need to be brought down a notch.
That is so real. And if you do get approached like by a drunk guy that's just like, you're hot, there's no thoughtfulness anymore. I don't know if it's some fear of rejection these days, or like thinking a certain way about women like being entitled or something. But like I've just really noticed that men don't approach as much anymore. I think a lot of it happens online. Like one time I was out and I was talking to this guy and like nothing really happened there, and then I get a DM from the same guy, and it's kind of like, why couldn't we have hashed this out in person? I was like, I was there for 30 minutes.
I don't know if they just like assume that like pretty girls already have boyfriends and they're like intimidated. I've started to just be like, you know what, F it, like we're gonna go up to guys now because they're not coming to us. So
speak your truth, queen. I've been trying to figure that out myself. Years ago I used to go out, guys were running up to you, and I feel like now it's either they don't say anything to you at all, or they like just stand over in the corner and they just like stare, and I'm like, just walk up to me, say hello. Not creeping from the corner.
Charges on you. Hey, hold your ear, call the police. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold her, get the police. Grab her.
I felt called to make this video. This lifestyle is a life of pain. To anyone out here watching this video, for the men and the women, obviously, is not okay. It doesn't matter what gender you guys are. It's not okay. Doesn't matter what gender we are. Doesn't matter the situation. This is never going to be okay. Partying, sleeping around with men, sleeping around with women will never ever bring you peace. This is a lifestyle of destruction. It is where Satan wants you to be. If you're out here and you're clubbing every weekend and partying and just getting messed up all the time, you will never find peace. A lot of people go back to that lifestyle because they think in that 10-hour span, 5-hour span, they're having the most fun of their life. The next day they wake up, they feel like crap. The next week, they feel like crap. Jesus is the only level of peace you will ever feel on this earth that is worth feeling, man. He's the only consistent peace we have. And knowing that God gave us the blueprint on how to live a happy and peaceful life. And at the end of the day, stay away from partying, stay away from all the clubbing, stay away from the porn, stay away from all these bad things. They're bad for you, man. They're bad for your brain. They're bad for your mental. Focus on God and focus on what God has for you.
I've seen men leave 5-10-year relationships and turn around and marry a woman.
The reason men will leave long-term relationships for a new woman and move on like that is because of something called the 90-10 rule. Basically what it means is the woman he's with might have 90% of what he's looking for. And even though most people are lucky to have 90% in common with someone, he becomes so resentful of the 10% that she doesn't have that when a new woman comes along and embodies that 10%, he's so enthralled with the 10% that she does have that he starts to convince himself that it's 100% of what he wants. So he jumps ship like that, and down the line, he realizes that this woman only has 10% of what he's looking for, but it doesn't matter because he already left the 90% behind. Follow for more and good luck.
I hate for a
the gym fish me. Don't ask to come to the gym with me if you know full well you finna run to the elliptical, the stairmaster, and the treadmill or the bike. I'm talking about me and the or me and the be talking good, getting to know each other, having a good old jolly time. Whole time this talking about they go to the gym 7 days a week. You like, God, you a muscle. Like, God, like you pushing weight like that 7 days a week. Only go 4 days a week and you going 7? Oh, I ain't know you was on that type of time just to find out them only do cardio. Ho, you ain't no muscle head, ho. You ain't no real muscle head, ho. You just sit here fiddling and around with the guy cardio machine. Anybody can do that. A little 4-year-old can do cardio all day long. That's nothing. And then doing the lowest speed on that, you on the Stairmaster bragging about being on that just for an hour. You only on speed 1 the whole time. Duh. But yeah, have y'all ever been gym fished? Drop y'all thoughts down below if you ever been gym fished. By musclehead hoes. Oh.
So you mean to tell me that if I marry or date a rich man, he gonna cheat on me because he rich and he has options? But if I date a poor man or a 9-to-5, then he gonna cheat on me because he's a visual creature? The internet?
A lot of modern women don't understand that their silence isn't really a punishment anymore. But the way that they act, with the way that they're acting out here, it's actually a blessing. With the way that you decide to be silly, it actually helps the man out because they're like, man, I didn't ever think that she was going to stop. It's a whole bunch of foolishness going on. So when you stop that chaos and allow that man to think, now he can see she's the issue. I'm thinking about that clip where they did that whole feminist went on strike thing or whatever it is. And it was funny because they said something to the effect of, what happened? Well, not much. The office was quieter and there weren't really any complaints and we got a lot of work done. You never want people to say that about you. Oh, we didn't really recognize that they were gone other than it was quiet and we didn't have people complaining and hollering and going to HR for no reason. You don't want that to happen to you, man.